And we go racing. Andy Park, what a great launch. Followed by Alexander, who's kind of been bogged down. Here comes on the outside, Conti. Layla will try to get on the inside. Eamon Espeir followed by Daniel Santos as they head down into turn number 2. It's going to get really tight, almost 3 wide, as Ferrero trying to defend off the 2 drivers ahead. One in the grass, that's Layla. Now Layla on the inside, trying to get the dive bomb down. Alexander trying to hold on, just cannot. 2x2 in the background. Eamon Espeir just shuffling up. He's now into 3rd position. Andy Park, he's been able to get the great getaway, but now they head into Moss. It's going to get very tight around this section here. Mike Van Dorn's been taken out. It's a 3-car collision of it just because of one driver. And a huge accident. Oh, and Evan Steinberg, he just went right over the curb. A lot of drivers taken out from that opening get-go, but we are back in racing. Looks like everybody was shaken up from that moment, but it's still green. Opening chaos. We haven't seen much of it back in round 2, but it was surely there in round 1. But that's what happens. One driver making a mistake, tapping the rear, and that's what happens. 3 cars absolutely shafted there that time by. From the outside, can the outside work this time? Downhill, left-hander. Alex will push and push as wide as he can. Will have to leave the respectable racing room. Does so. Door is very much shut. Layla taps Alexander in the rear, saying, all right, you want to play like that? Come on, then. Fight me, then. Bumps the rear once again. Layla's not happy whatsoever. True MX-5 Cup racing. You anger one of these bees, they'll all attack you like you attacked the queen. Here we go. Layla, anytime on the inside. Not this time around, but very close on the rear end. Eamon in the foreground, making a mistake, will allow both 3rd and 4th position to get right to him. And their battle for P2 could get underway very shortly. We also have in the background Casper in trouble because he's got Daniel Taberner for company, and Taberner will go up to 6th. But back on the slipstream, and he'll get the move right on the inside. Oh, Lemon actually bump draft him. Absolutely whack the rear end to say, get a move on. And Alex tap the rear of Layla. Does Layla save it? Yes, she does. Alexander returning the bump, returning the favor. And it's getting real messy out here. Alex and Layla not going to play cool with each other. You tap me, I'll tap you. And now we're really getting some proper aggressive racing between these 2 drivers. It's going to be a fun rivalry. They have 25 minutes to settle their beef before they get into the second one. No! Round the inside, holding on. Ferrero will still keep that position. Oh, trouble! Trouble happens, ensues here. Daniel Taberner makes contact with Casper. It's shades of last week where Taberner made a similar mistake running into the rear of Eamon Espeir, and he's made it once again, chasing close down. That's not what you want. And both of them sent backwards out of this order. And a huge shame, another harsh moment there for Daniel Taberner, just tapping the rear, not going as well as he wanted to. And here comes Layla up the inside. Oh, it's so close, almost hitting the wall on the inside. Eamon not giving her any sort of room. Layla's gonna shoot up to 2nd. Can she hold on? Eamon Espeir will try to get the rear end. We'll switch it to the inside. Incredible racing if they can hold on. Layla with the inside line. Eamon Espeir will have to try to go for the in and out. Will bump draft. Layla's been set spun. Layla's been taken out by Eamon Espeir. It's trouble and drama. Eamon Espeir. Well, how do you want to say with that one? You can let me know in the comments, in the chat. What do you think of that one? Here comes Ferrero. Eamon making a mistake on corner exit. We'll have a slow one. And Ferrero, he takes it to the outside. It's going to be tight. Into turn 1. Doesn't get pushed out wide. Just a bit, but still holding on. Nose to tail. Looking to the inside. very close together. Eamon with a more preferred line will just be able to inch a bit ahead. Now, Ferrero will have Quebec to navigate through in the dirty air, but cannot let it distract you. A little bit of understeer and corner exit, but it's a great run. They're now going to head into Moz. Where does Eamon put his car? A champion in GT3 just a couple weeks ago. What does he do against the newcomer of Ferrero? He'll defend the inside. Now Alexander having a chance. Now onto the Mario Andretti straightaway. Up the road, it's going to be Emmanuel still needing to make his pit stop. And Eamon is going to be hoping that it's this lap that he can come in. So Park looking to secure victory here with 15 seconds up the road, but it's your battle for P4 as Layla and Daniel Santos fight. Santos has the inside line, a clear entry into turn 2. Layla will have to round it, hold on wide. Can she send it up Quebec? Side by side, here they come. Layla will hold on. 4th place up for grabs between these two. Santos will still have an inside line of some sort, but now Layla will have the opportunity at Moss if she can hold on. If contact is made between them, Layla will have to send it. Layla will actually stick behind, not gonna go for that move, but Layla will dive it down the inside. She hits the curb hard. Makes a bit of contact with Daniel Santos, and that may have just killed her momentum. Went for the move. Could she have waited for the back straight? I'm not too sure. But coming around the final couple of corners, it's a win that Andy Park had been hunting since last week at Brands Hatch. Andy Park will cross the line. P1 will win at round 3. Most Sport will go to him. Eamon Nasseir will finish 2nd place. Can he hold on at least one corner to go? He should, and he will. A big, huge round of applause for Alexander Ferrero, who will finish a mighty P3. Santos on the final lap will get it done in 4th. Layla will have to settle for 5th, where she may believe firmly that she should have earned probably a P2 in this race. As we come to the line, oh, Casper! 360, and Taberner will respect it and let him hold on to P10. 4 lights on the board here in Canada. We go racing for round 4. Andy Park once again with a great start. Eamon will shuffle behind. Daniel Santos will try to get the early run onto Alexander, and he will, going down the inside. Layla behind wants to get a part of this action early on as they all shuffle through from turn 1 now into turn 2. Lots of runoff on the outside. Santos making a little tap onto the grass. Ferrero making a mistake. He runs backwards. Layla's now up to 4th. They head into Quebec side by side. Nevis and Andy Rees, they all head through this time by. Now we're gonna get into a bit of an action zone this time by. Let's get right up to the top here and let's watch the drivers go through Moss. Last time we had a huge crash. Will it happen again? They head into the double right-handers. Very slow and steady. You saw Casper try to make a move down the inside of Daniel Taberner. Cannot get it done, but actually on the second right-hander, he will get it done. Onto the back straight here for the first time. Meanwhile, look at the background there. Oleg did not have the best of exits, so it's kind of separated everyone. And once again, it's 3 wide in the rear. And that's a shot right there. 3 wide MX-5s. Oleg squeezing Taberner on the inside. Andy Rees around the long way. Can he sweep it past? Oleg's focusing on Taberner as they head into the right-hander. I felt like contact was going to happen. It does happen. And he's been sent into the wall. And Oleg just could not hold on. 3 wide. And is it going to spin onto the track? No, he stays off the circuit. And that's going to help out the rest of the pack as they now catch up. Meanwhile, Layla squeezed all the way into the grass. No space there, Layla. Eamon squeezing with all his might. Really hard racing between the two of these MX-5s, giving us a brilliant showcase. What a great showcase back at round 2 of the championship. But now what can he do here 2 rounds later? Nevis to the outside again. Will be the inside of Moss. 4th time he's tried this one. Can it work out? Much closer now. He'll send it. Contact is made between each other. Now, right-hander. Can he do it? Can he hold on? Squeezes Alexander. Still a fight to be between them. Take a look at Daniel Taberner on the outside. Could not stretch his legs there for a move. And now, slipstreaming. Can Taberner put a little bit of a bump draft to help out Nevis to try to get ahead of Alexander? Very tight between the two. But now as they head into the Assets once again, Ferrero will try to get back going. It's really been a stream here in this race of a two-man battle. Andy Rees is out of this race. He's called it quits. I don't know what went down for him, but something's gone wrong and he is out of this race. Now up the inside, Alexander against Richard Nevis. Nevis on the outside, holding on to the curb of track limits, shutting the door. Still giving us a great fight. Grass getting kicked up of turn 2. Now into Quebec. First of the late breakers. Oh, Alex turned in a bit too early there. Caught him by surprise. Richard did not turn in. Meanwhile, Taberner now has big trouble because on the rear end, Alexander Ferrero is hunting, and he might have to kiss that top 3 goodbye because Alex goes for the send. Door is open. Ow, look at that. Nevis tried to look to the inside, had to avoid, but he'll get the move on the inside of an unsuspecting Alexander who was trying to go against Daniel Taberner. And both of them now pushing. Taberner now in trouble. Sent of the inside. Nevis goes through. Taberner sent wide off the circuit. And here comes Alexander Ferrero. Trying to get it done on the outside. Cannot. And now it's Nevis who will take over 4th position. And now he is going to try to chase down Mike Van Dorn with 1.7 left to go. And it is going to get... Oh, it's trouble! Oh, it's trouble. Contact is made. The bump draft did not work there. I didn't get a proper angle of it. But Taberner has been taken out of this one. Ladies and gentlemen, Andy Park has just performed a stellar race weekend. Pole position, race 1, and now race 2. Give him the broom. He sweeps it, Canada. Eamon Espeir will come around the final couple of corners to finish home in P number 2. Mike Van Dorn pushed to the very end, could not get it done. And look at Eamon. Actually, is he slowing down? He is slowing down. He's given Mike Van Dorn the points. He's giving him the points. Wow. Alexander and Nevis coming together at the line. It's Nevis who will take 4th position. Very interesting. Eamon realizing I'm not in this championship fight, so he allows his good buddy Mike Van Dorn to say, take the points, buddy. Let's see a fight to the end. A little bit of a respectable one. Andy Park is going to be gritting his teeth pretty hard, but I know he's going to be happy that he's just swept this one. Racing coming to the end here as all the drivers coming to the line. Layla will cross the line. That's a miserable race end for her, P14, and it's going to be one to look back at as what went wrong, unless it was the engine troubles again. But it's her teammate who will be celebrating and popping the champagne bottles. A great performance there.
Got scars deep enough to last. Heart full of broken glass, and I'm gonna paint it black. Oh, I got bruises I covered up. I've been used every time I loved. Nothing to lose when the devil comes. Oh, turn up the lights, we can turn them out, 'cause turn up the lights, we can burn them out, 'cause I know what's waiting, I know what it's made of. What is made of. Come and take me closer to the edge, shadow. If you think you can't love me, you can show me how to have it down. If you're gonna touch
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Caribbean Motor Racing Sim Club, and it is time now for rounds 5 and 6 of the MX-5 Cup Championship. We are live here at Sportsland Sugo. Qualifying is firmly underway. We're looking for who is going to take pole position here in this one. We are currently in our segment 1 of qualifying, watching the drivers already out, putting in their first couple of laps on the board, and we're going to find out ourselves what is going to go down here today. But welcome in chat as we get this one started. There's a lot of conversation on if a championship can be crowned. Unfortunately, it will not be for one Andy Park, but he's going to have a very simple championship journey here today. Mike Van Dorn, Eamon Nasseir have decided to hide behind the shadows, realizing Andy is just too tough around these MX-5 Cup cars. They may return for the final 2 races over at Sydney for the Australian Grand Prix. We'll find that out very soon. But as for now, we have our segment 1 of qualifying. We have a lot of work to do before we get there, and we're going to see who's taking the top. Let's turn up the volume here as these MX-5 Cups do have just a couple minutes in this session here to put down their best times. And on the board as it stands, it's Kirill who is the fastest, but we're gonna get some even quicker times as we've come to the line now. And we're gonna find it. Here comes Leonardo crossing the line here, followed by Mohammed. Over the line, it's Leonardo, followed by Mohammed, and Mohammed's going to take provisional pole with a 35-0. Followed up next, here comes Emmanuel. Behind him is Kirill, trying to see if he can regain back provisional pole. And now crossing the line for them, Emmanuel. That'll not be a valid lap time. Kirill will improve. P6 will now go to P4. There's Mark Crawford, Danny Nasseir behind him. So that is what the times are looking at so far. So Mohammed and Tiago and Leonardo, your top 3 so far in this first segment of qualifying. We're going to get the second segment up very, very shortly, and that's where you're going to see the top fastest drivers of the week do battle here on circuit. And that's where you're going to find out who is going to take pole position. So lots to talk about here as we get started in for this Japanese Grand Prix. And lots of work to do here. We were supposed to see one extra driver here, but one is going to be taking a qualifying ban that he actually accumulated a couple of number of weeks ago. But now returning back, he will have to just sit this one out in the pits. But I'm telling you, once we get into racing conditions, we are in it. So now around up the hill, we're watching Danny Nasseir. Tiago is finding some pace on this lap, and we are going to keep an eye on him as he's coming around the final corner. Danny Nasseir crosses the line, only stays P7. Crossing the line there. And Tiago, he goes fastest. So 1:34.919, that's the fastest time now in this first part of qualifying here. We're waiting until we get into the 15-minute mark left to go here. And we do have some very fun news coming up after the second race today, round 6. That's when we get the next championship announcement. And it's going to be a good one. A lot of drivers speculating on what it could potentially be. Well, it's going to be something very exciting, I'll tell you that much. A couple more minutes left to go. Sugo is such an underrated circuit in Japan. When you think of circuits in Japan, you're going to think about Suzuka, Fuji, maybe Tsukuba. There's a lot of great tracks in Japan. Okayama as well. Here we are, Sportsland Sugo. Autopolis. There's a lot there's a lot of fantastic circuits out here in Asia. But as these drivers have had a full week to practice and get used to the car around here, it's where you see the times properly shine in this crunch time here. As we have, Richard Neves having a disconnection. I think he should be in the second segment, so luckily he's not wasting any time at all. But as we continue here, Mohammed P2 at the moment. Thiago still dominating here in qualifying with 3 minutes left to go. So once we get to that 3-minute mark left to go here, apologies for the notification noise there. That's when we get into the second part. So, continuing here, this qualifying session, 14 concurrent viewers. We're slowly rising up the viewership as we're going to get into racing in just about 17 minutes time. And that's where we get going here as we watch Emmanuel coming around the final corner, rising up the hill, keeping it in fourth gear. And eventually crossing the line. So Emmanuel on this lap, he's 1.3 down Crawford P4. Here is Mohammed as Thiago Ravaz quicker, a 134.9, going even faster here. So great so far from him. Now very interesting from Mohammed here. P2 at the moment, very quick. A little shimmy there off corner exit, but very confident in the car, I've noticed. And looking to have a great qualifying here. They're going to have 1 minute to go. All right, 1 minute left. 1 minute left in segment 1. So, a couple of seconds left. I think all the drivers could get one more lap in. We'll find out. 40 seconds left to go from this point on. Now we find out Mohammed's going to take it into the pit, so he's officially done qualifying. We got a P8 Leonardo. Special livery here. On to the front straight, so he'll have one more lap to be able to put down here. But this lap so far, currently sitting at a P8, and he's going to stay P8. Mark Crawford from P4, second row on the grid, will stay where he is there. Danny Nasseir, he'll go up to P5. That's more like it from his pace over practice. Emmanuel will go up to second. P6 crossing the line. Kirill. All right, if you've crossed the line at this point, you must head straight to the pits if you did not make it to the line. So that is it there. So all those drivers do have their final opportunity, and coming in from this one, I'm seeing right here, I do see Mackenzie Thompson on circuit. I'm not too sure if Mackenzie's supposed to be in this split. Unfortunately not. So Mackenzie may have to be taking will have to be taking a penalty. Yep. At that one. So that is a shame. Mackenzie debut race, but not following the rules there. So we're still watching the segment 1 here. That is mighty unfortunate there. But rules are rules as we continue this one here. We're waiting for the last couple of drivers. Leonardo's going to be the next one to come around here. And final time across the line here for Leonardo. And crossing it, we're going to see what this lap time is from P9. Final lap for Leonardo, and it's a P8, and that is going to be his segment complete. Danny Nasseir will take it to the pits. Oh, and he's actually hit the wall there. A little too much speed for Danny Nasseir, so he's off. Here comes the rest of the drivers to the pit lane, and I do see Mackenzie also coming in, but unfortunately has already made that lap. So first segment is officially complete, ladies and gentlemen. All right, so great. First segment there of qualifying. Just keep in mind, any drivers who are not supposed to be out this segment will receive a penalty. There's your mic check for you if you can hear me there. So at the exact 10-minute mark, that's when we get started with segment 2. So all segment 2 drivers are free to come out from that point. But congratulations to the top 3 from segment 1, Thiago, Kirill, and Mohammed. And great qualifying there so far, and we'll get started with segment 2 at the exact 10-minute mark. So as soon as you see that, that's when you are free to go. And once again, any drivers who did not follow instructions that were posted in the event briefings, that'll be a penalty coming to the end of today's events. So first part of qualifying complete in this one. And so drivers are now waiting for the second segment. So, as it stands right now, there are your lap times there. Those are driver numbers on the side, but let's take a look at those times. The 34s for the top 3. And there are the cars in the pits here. Friendly, familiar group of drivers. Layla, Mark, Richard, Leonardo, Pai, Mohammed, championship leader Andy, Park, newcomer here, Mackenzie Thompson, Kirill, Juan, Evan, Thiago, Daniel, Eros, Danny to round it out here today. We have a minute left, just over a minute till we get into the next part. Until we get the second part started, so stay tuned here as we're gonna get ready. The green light will be on in exactly 60 seconds from now. And then we can get going here today. A beautiful circuit here, clear weather skies. Sugo is an amazing track to lap. If you've never experienced Sportsland Sugo and any sort of simulator, I highly recommend checking it out. This is a free mod here in Assetto Corsa. But various other sims, I know Project Cars does have this version. At least I know Project Cars 2 and 1. Not too sure about 3. 30 seconds left before we get into the second segment. This is typically where you find the battle for pole position. So put your bets on the table. Could it be the championship leader who has been fastest all week to take pole position? Could it be Daniel Santos, second fastest today, looking for some redemption after last round didn't have the best of results? Gonna want to go for it. All right, segment 2 beginning in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Segment 2 begin. You have until the checkered flag at the end of the session for your qualifying. Here we go. Segment number 2. Out now. And going here. So all the drivers making it onto the circuit. It's going to be a slightly smaller group here. The segment 2 drivers deserving the higher slots, so lesser cars are going to be joining them. That is what you get. So here we go. So drivers on track here. And they're going to be looking for pole position. They're all going to be hustling. I remember last week at Mosport, a lot of the drivers were looking for the toe. So we're going to find out here and see what's going to go down here. There's your championship leader, though. He's looking for the bonus point. 1 point more. He won't be able to win the championship here today, Andy Park, but he will have next week to do battle. So rounding out the final corner, it's completely flat out. We look to Andy Park's teammate, Leila Petragula. And let's see what she's going to do. So, opening up qualifying here. Let's go on board. So on board here with Leila, going off board now, a little bit into the grass through this first sector here at Sportsland Sugo. And you see all the cars behind. Oh, I think that's somebody just getting track limits there. Was that Richard Nevis? Yes, it was. You see Andy Park and Daniel Santos coming through. They're quicker throughout this lap here. Purple sector for Daniel Santos, so we'll keep an eye out on him throughout this one. But Leila, first driver to come to the line. Now Mackenzie was supposed to be in this segment, so her lap, one lap, his already on the board, so Leila's not going to be the first driver to set an official lap from the segment 2 group, but officially here, let's see what she can do nonetheless. Leila hunting for the championship. It's possible for her to get it done. It's going to be a tall order. Let's see. Crossing the line now. And 34.2, Santos will go to pole with a 33.5. And eyes are on the next couple of drivers here. Conti P2, Andy Park to the line. Not the best of second sectors, crossing it, and actually it's an invalid lap time. 6 minutes and 30 seconds left to go for this early part here. And Santos quicker in this first sector. So hustling now, trying to look if he can get pole position. The second fastest driver of the week. He's been doing a lot of practice. Oh, as he's actually clipped the grass there, so his entry might be compromised ever so slightly. And behind the order, oh, we have Evan Steinberg disconnecting out the session. Couple drivers going wide out of that turn. That's going to be track limits. It's pretty strict around there. Drivers are not allowed to leave the double white lines if all 4 tires go over the white line in and even on the painted curbs. It's still track limits for them. Mackenzie Thompson next to the line to officially be a part of this one. Shades of, who was it? Sebastian Vettel in Turkey. Very first time he was on an F1 car. And unfortunately, gets a speeding penalty. One of the quickest penalties ever given for a F1 driver in their career. But as Mackenzie goes up to P2, Santos as the driver to watch to the line. Second sector was not the best, but the first one is the one that was aced. It's not going to be pure improvement. Richard Nevis will go up to P2, replacing Mackenzie Thompson. Andy Park next to the line, finding purple in the middle sector. It's going to shoot him up. He's going to go to pole to 133.425. So now Santos has some work to do. A 10th down from this one. But he is going quick. First sector is fast. Let's see if he can properly nail this one without touching the grass on the outside. The turn in is great, albeit a little bit of a slide on exit. Trying to carry the momentum. Get back on the throttle as soon as possible. It's a little bit sluggish throughout that part, but still going to hustle it nonetheless. He's currently great on the Delta, kind of matching. He was about almost half a 10th down, so still trying to push hard for him. Got some work to do. Meanwhile, Andy Park on the short screen. He's pushing as well on the back straight. But Daniel Santos now has the second sector to officially cross over. Can Santos put down a monster second sector? He goes wide, and he's unfortunately going to lose some time. And now around the final corner, flat out here. It's just one main line to go through. Has he been able to put down a proper time here. A little bit wide, touching the grass here and there. Is it enough to take back pole position? He's currently sitting down in third as Mackenzie goes to second. He's not going to improve. We switch now to Andy Park, who's quicker in the second sector, and I think this is going to be a much faster lap time. Andy Park to the line, crossing it now. It's a 1:33.094. Mackenzie Thompson in her debut, currently sitting second, and currently trying to improve, but Andy Park putting down 5/10 faster than P2 and P3. It's going to be a very tall order. Let's stay on board. Let's go driver's eye. Let's watch the inputs. Let's see what Park is doing. So into the double right-hander here, keeping it in third gear. Very smooth here, using the grass as well. You can do that as long as you stay within track limits, but that unfortunately is not track limits. Going a bit too wide outside the white lines. Thompson now to the front straight here. The slow climb, just take a look at it. You want to stay in fourth gear. You do not want to shift into fifth, but as soon as you crest over, get it right into fifth gear. Looks like fourth gear might be the answer, though, as you get to the line if your name is Mackenzie Thompson. So, P2 still, Andy Park quicker in the first sector. I should say second sector, actually. Andy Park around the final corner, racing up the hill to the line. And this could be another improvement lap here. Could it be a sub 33? Is this the first time a driver is getting into the 32s? Unfortunately, it is not. So 1 minute and 45 seconds to go here in this qualifying session. And we're still waiting on who's going to take this one. Who is taking pole? But Andy Park looks like it could be his day for another pole position. Santos, however, may have one last gasp in the tank. We'll find out here. Couple corners left to go for him. He's got a great slipstream up the road from Layla. Santos just needs to have a proper middle sector. Let's go on board with him on the hood camera. Into the left-hander, a little kiss, a little bit wide there on corner exit. Has to nail this. This one's a crucial one. Very smooth. There you can see 0.07, just slower off the fastest middle sector. But now it's the climb up, and that slipstream could help a ton. Or is Daniel maybe coming into the pits? No, he is not. He's just taking a narrow line, not bothering with the slipstream. Here we go. Daniel Santos. Can he at least get to the front row? He can. A 33.311 with 30 seconds left on the clock. It's pushed down. Mackenzie down to the second row. So, drama here as Andy Park goes even quicker. A 33.087 out of nowhere with a purple third sector. 10 seconds on the clock. Qualifying will be done. In 5 seconds time, the checkered flag will be out, and all these drivers who are on a lap, this is their last one. Checkered flag officially out here at Sugo for this penultimate round of qualifying. Mackenzie using a lot of turn in there, almost hugging the grass as well, so a little bit of a slide on corner exit. It almost feels like a bit of a hip check. Into the final left-hander here as we now swap into the right-hander. Doesn't look like it's enough to beat Daniel Santos's P2 time, so it may have to be a time that'll stay P3. And we'll keep a close eye on it. Layla and Daniel Santos, final two drivers to the line. Park has taken it into the pits. Mackenzie has also just called it quits. So now we watch Santos. Is this a lap 2 complete, or is it going to be backed off and headed straight into pit lane? Doesn't look like it. So both Layla and Daniel next to the line. Santos It's improvement, but it's not enough. Layla as well. It's going to be a poor qualifying from P6 in this championship hunt. Oleg from P9 will go to P8. Maybe, did he run out of fuel? He was kind of lifting at the line. Evan Steinberg, last but certainly not least, to the checkered flag from P7. It'll stay 7th position. So that's going to be your qualifying complete. I think Layla's should be done qualifying here. I don't think AC will allow another one. It will not. Andy Park will take pole position here at Sportsland Sugo. It's a 1:33.087, followed by Daniel Santos and the debuting Mackenzie Thompson. All right, congratulations. Your top 3 there. Andy, Daniel, and Mackenzie. All right, we're coming up to our first of 2 30-minute races. Mandatory tire change must be done within the pit window. Pit window opens immediately as the race begins, and it'll close with, I believe, 5 minutes left to go into the race. So, there is your qualifying done and dusted. There's all the drivers getting it done there. So we're going to find out here what's racing going to look like. You look at last week, it was pure pack racing. But now we have a different story. Let's take a look at the point standings. Andy Park leading it off here. Mike Van Dorn, Eamon Espear, not here today. It's up to Layla. It's going to be a civil war out here. Layla's starting towards the outside of the top 5. Lots of work for her to do to climb up the order. They're going to be focusing on the team standings as well. Promix Flame is only going to be achieving points here today if Daniel Santos can get some work done. He did not have the best of lucks in the second race last week. So, fortunately, engine troubles, disconnectivity for him. And now going to be the lone driver here today. If he can at least beat one out of the 2 drivers, it will be helpful, but I know Santos is going to want to try to get P1 here. The race to turn 1 is going to be a very interesting one. If I was Daniel Santos and learning about Andy Park's amazing starts and how he's just able to break away from the pack, I would go full aggression. Race is not won in turn 1, but if I was Daniel, I'd try to get the lead early, back up the pack, force Andy to get some drivers and some pressure on him, and then that's when the real war begins, because I think he knows that when Andy Park breaks away, it's going to be trouble. If you're just tuning in here, and if this is your first time tuning in to the championship, let's run you down what's gone on so far. We've already completed 2 races so far, back at Brands Hatch and Mosport Park. We're here at Sportsland Sugo, and next week we are in for the finale. It's Sydney Motorsport Park for the Australian Grand Prix. It's going to be a doozy. Can't wait for that one. The format here, we're looking at 2 races, 2 30-minute classics coming up for you today. It's going to be mandatory tire changes. So even though these cars can make the distance with these tires, we force the drivers to make 1 pit stop to have that sense of strategy. They will not have an extra lap, so wherever the leader is, once that timer expires, that will be officially declared as the final lap, and we get into the final bits of the race. And any accident that happens, doesn't matter. Keep racing. There's no virtual safety cars. Wherever you finish in race 1, that's where you finish in race 2. Every race is considered a round for us in the championship, so we're heading into round 5 of MX-5 Cup, similar to the world of real racing, where MX-5s, they have multiple rounds on the same race weekend, but we're having them back-to-back here today. So we have a minute left before we get these cars on grid. And we are good. Final mic check for anyone who needs it. So, here are the drivers on grid here today. Let's run you down through some of the liveries we see here. Then we're going to get into the official grid lineup in just a minute. But beautiful, beautiful liveries here. Some of them are custom made by the drivers. Others provided from many mod makers. Yep, mic check. But yeah, some customs, for example, Andy Park and Layla Petraglia running custom liveries. Evan Steinberg also running a custom one. Eros Conti as well. And Emmanuel running some CMRC bumper stickers. Let's line it up for the grid. And we're going to run down what's the order looking like for race number 1. So, we'll start off different. Maybe we can start off from the back. So in the rear positions, it's going to be one who unfortunately took a qualifying ban. So he's going to be starting from the rear end. Pi is going to be starting from P16, P15, Leonardo in the custom livery there. Danny Nasseir, P14. Mark Crawford will start into 13th, the lone driver for X-Play. Mohammed for P12. Emmanuel starts in P11. We get into the top 10 with Kirill into his second race weekend in CMRSC. Tiago Ravaz will be P9. Oleg, P8. Evan Steinberg, custom livery P7, as well as a custom livery for Layla, P6, there we go. Eros Conti, P5, as we get into the top 2 rows here. Richard Nevis, Mackenzie Thompson, Daniel Santos, and the championship leader, Andy Park. So a solid lineup of drivers here. And of course, the lone car in the pits. No pace car. But we're getting ready for it here at Sportsland Sugo, the Japanese Grand Prix, about to get underway. If you're ready for this one, make sure to hit that subscribe button and get ready for action, because the crowd is going to be screaming for the start of this one. You don't want to miss the action here today. So let's count it down. With 20 seconds left to go here, we're going to get started for the first one. Lights on your screen here. Four lights on your screen for Japan Wiga Racing. 30 minutes. Timer begins. A crash in the rear end. 2 drivers off. We already head into turn 1. I have no idea what went down there. It's Park in the lead, followed by Santos in P2. Nevis will get the jump on McKenzie to go up to 3rd. Layla will be on the inside, trying to hustle through as they head into the left-hander. Santos already trying to break away from the pack, as well as Andy Park. Somebody is having some disconnectivity issues, already rising into the mountains. Now they head into the chicane, where the driver's going to be single file, but it's trouble for Layla and Conti. They're both been taken out and spun wide. It's a lot of drivers getting it wrong there. It's a huge accident there. They all able to stay going. Oh, Emmanuel has some big trouble there. He's already cutting through the forest. And that is mighty unfortunate for him. He might get a disconnectivity from that one. That'll be such a shame for him. And he is. So getting kicked from that one, the disconnectivity issue sending him everywhere. A nightmare though, but we get this race started here. And Santos is gonna put on the pressure. Layla caught unlucky there, contact. They tried to go 2x2, it just didn't work. We on board with Santos. He's already gonna try to line up a move into turn 1. Can he get it done? So we're going to try to remove the cut warning there from the top of the screen. There's Emmanuel now coming around here. So he is now... Oh, no, he's just lagging again. And trouble there. Andy Park, has he been kicked out the session? So we're going to restart that one. There was somebody who was lagging quite a bit, causing a lot of incidents there. We were trying to get him out the session there for the moment. So, Emmanuel, there was a lot of lag there from you. So, race control calling it off as a restart, and Emmanuel causing a lot of lag. That is the call out for why there is a restart here. Yeah, I have no idea what was going on there for him. But he is, we are good to go here. And trying to get going. And we're going to see what goes down here. Now, Andy Park not here. We'll hold off for Andy to hop in. So, a very, very laggy one to begin there with. And with the amount of incidents that went down, oh yeah, for sure. We're going to send it back up and try this one once again. So, yeah, huge incidents there. And we'll get it restarted here. And see what we can do. So restarting the session there. Andy, you should be able to join. You could try restarting Content Manager. Alright, cool. Try giving that a go. See if you can join in. So, minute and 30 seconds left to go. I'm going to switch it over here just so I can get the live chat on my screen. I would love to see the conversations going on here in chat. There we go. So, this is the one and only restart here that's going to go down. If there is a lot of lag from anyone here, they'll be sent off the session for the race. We did have a handful of incidents, so we're going to try to run this one back. Let's keep it clean there, of course. Solid tight racing, of course, but yeah, even once the lights went out, there were cars in just off the grid who were instantly taken out, so no idea what went down there. 30 seconds left to go, though. Best of luck here. Let's try this one again. And try this one, we will. Here we go. Time on your screen here. A light's gonna be on the board. Let's try this one once more, shall we? Four lights on the screen. Here in Japan, it's round 5. We go racing. Oh, trouble for Danny Nasseir. He'll get a jump start as we go racing, and we head into turn 1. It's gonna be a very tight one, and oh, it was very close between Conti and Richard. It's almost 3 wide as Layla trying to get the hustle there into the left-handers. They all hustle up the order there. It's very tight for some of the drivers, but it's your lead there of Andy Park. Layla trying to go through side by side with Evan Steinberg. Contact is made, and Evan Steinberg sent off. Evan tried. They were side by side there. Trouble there. Layla will go through, but for how long? If there is some sort of penalty, that could go down. But race start here as they try to get around the order here. A couple of drivers going wide. It looks like the top 8 all separated there in the rear end as they all try to hustle up and get going. It's a great race start here so far. Couple argy-bargy moments, but it's far less chaotic than I would have thought. But it's Park who leads the Grand Prix, and Santos is chasing behind, and he is coming up fast. So, we're climbing up the hill. Could it be a better run here for Daniel Santos? It could be a lunge here if he can find his way to get up to turn 1. going side by side with the championship leader. We'll see. Unfortunately, it's just a bit too far into that one. But Park goes a little bit deep. Out of one. Seeing your comments in chat, not gonna lie, I think what happened is that Rahul kicked Andy. Nope, that is not the case. We kicked out Emmanuel, and he was able to rejoin back into the session with even more lag, so we just got rid of him completely. Looks like Andy had some disconnectivity issues, nothing to do with myself there with him. Danny Nasseir gets his drive-through taken, a little bit of a kick in the groin there for what went down with him with the jump start. Just getting it slightly wrong there. Pit lane is busy. Mohammed, Evan, Leonardo in for their pit stops very early on. It's a mandatory tire change with the pit window, but nonetheless, it's still hard racing and green. So Santos doing a great job of hustling Andy Park, and I got a feeling we're going to get some great action between these two drivers here. Heading into the left-hander. Now second left-hander. And both of them into the grass. Oh, it looks like Santos followed Park. And Santos knows he cannot let Andy Park away from his sight. It's the only chance he's got. And here we go, climbing up the hill once again. The gap is 3/10 the difference between P1 and P2. It slowly goes down. Santos and Park trade fastest laps. Santos will still hold on behind, will not go for the move. Looking at the rear of Andy Park on board with him into the left-hander. Santos will be in the dirty air, but will just have to hustle as much as he can. Crawford will get a drive-through for speeding in the pits as he was trying to get his pit stop done into the chicane. It's a lot better of a run for Santos. He's got to keep his nose clean. The driver in the rear, if you make contact with the car ahead and it's a penalty to you, that's going to be drama. Park a little bit wide on corner entry, and it's going to suffer him on corner exit. He'll get a track limits detection from him because of that. And Santos just has to bite his time, but pressure is on. Daniel Santos barely missing out on the GT World Challenge Championship. Trying to hold on as much as he can into the left-hander once again. Double left-hander. 4/10 the difference, kind of lagging back a bit behind. Meanwhile, let's turn up some other battles here. Layla trying to catch up through the order, has P5 ahead. Now this is a lot closer. This is what Santos has to get if he wants to get to Andy Park. Layla against Richard Nevis. Nevis is going to hug the inside line for dear life, and Layla will try to go around the outside. Now, can he get it done? Can Layla get it done? Excuse me. She goes around the outside. Door is shut. Nevis holding on to dear life. He's defending. He's holding on. Real close racing between the two. Layla, nose to tail. She'll send it down the inside. Layla will get the move done. Up to P5. Nevis, does he respond? Not much space around this part of the circuit. Not whatsoever. A great move there from Layla as she continues to hustle up the order. Evan Steinberg in the paddock pen. He's still, I believe he's still racing. No, he's in the pits. He's done. Trouble for P15 as well. There was a car that was stuck still, or maybe that was somebody else. I'm not too sure because Leonardo looks well and truly alive there and moving. Nevis trying to get back as, Crawford exiting the session. There is still a second race to get going. It looks like Layla, a little bit onto the grass in the rear end, not going to help her case, but she is starting to exit out the picture as Andy Park is starting to put down some great laps. We're going to find out in just a second how quick Andy Park is, and I think it's going to be a fastest lap on this one, and it is. It's a 33.133. Holy, that's a humongous lap there, and leaving Santos almost a second behind. 8/10 the difference, but slowly climbing the order. It's working a lot in his favor. So Park dominating this one. Holy. See S-Pixel in the chat. I believe that is our famous Luca Andretta calling out the Miatas. Yeah, Luca, we got to see you in some of these Miatas racing here. See what you can do against some of these top guys. So now on to the back straight. Once again, just in the background there, you see Nevis just going wide out of track limits. But now still Andy Park has really started to put down the pace here. He's now starting to move here. Now Santos going purple in the first sector, 23.597 against a 23.599. So even though it's purple for him and purple overall in the race, it is still matching and not really enough to really break away here. Now up the hill, rising up slowly. Nevis will have an opportunity to battle back against Layla. Now, can she hold on here? We'll see. Nose to tail. A little bit of lag there. Nevis pulling up to the inside. Layla will be a sitting duck here. Will try to hold on as best as she can. She'll go wide. Nevis will say thank you very much and regain back 5th position. Layla will try again, maybe back at her favorite spot for a dive. Nevis remembered that. He'll defend the inside. Layla will stay behind this time by, but can she hold on to the inside? It's happened again! Layla happening again! It was first contact with Steinberg in the same section. Now, was there space for Layla to have that move on the inside? But it's back-to-back incidents. First happening on lap 1, Layla having none of it. Now, the racing rule is that front tires have to be alongside rear tires when battling. And if she is there with the front tires, that's Nevis turning in. If not, that's on Layla. But it's so unfortunate. Layla, 2 incidents now in the same part of the circuit, making contact. A little bit desperate in this championship, knowing that her rival is leading this one by a long shot. She's got to get a move on. But that's a tough one. That's a tough one there, and considering we just did not have the best of angles, it's not that great. We couldn't see that one. Now, answering some other questions in the chat. Can Andy win the championship this week? Absolutely not. Now, still a ways to go for Andy Park. Now, granted, after this one, Andy's going to have a monster lead to the point where almost finishing anywhere in the next race will officially become champion. But at this part of the championship, you look at the mathematical aspect of who can win what and how. So Layla's got a bit of work to do to catch up. Meanwhile, there's still some other bits of racing left to go. We have 20 minutes of action here in round 5. Round 6 is coming up in about 20-25 minutes. But we look to this fight here. Nevis was sent backwards. Tiago. Oh, a little slide. Front end just not cooperating. And Nevis going wide, taking track limits. Now this could be a great chance as Nevis defends the inside. Ravaz to the outside. Tried to close the door. Tiago will put some tires on the grass. He's really trying to open up this corner to try to find any sort of space that he can. Now into the left-hander. Any chance that he can inch closer? Turn 1 might be the answer. If he can get as close as possible with the slipstream, it's half a tenth. Now around the final quarter. Not the best of entries here. Trying to close up onto the inside here, onto that white line. And you know what? He might be taking it into pit road here, and he will. So let's keep an eye on him. Let's see how pit entry does look. There's the line. So now he is in. And pit lane is also looking quite a bit busy. We also have Pi and Krill in there as well. Oleg is also in the pits. So not even at the halfway point, and driver is deciding to come in early. I saw a bit of yellow flags. It is yellow flags. Trouble for Andy Park, going wide once again. Now track limits will add up slowly, and that's not what Park needs at this stage. Now you look back at round 2 at Brands Hatch. Andy Park at the latter stage of the race got a 10-second time penalty for those track limits. It sent Park outside from winning the Grand Prix and left out of it. But we continue here with this race here. Leonardo, personal best lap for him, and Andy Park will show him how it's done with the fastest lap of the race. Pulling out a gap now of 2.5 seconds to Daniel Santos. As well as that, trouble, contact, maybe was there contact. I think they held on. Danny Nasseir and Oleg. Danny in the top 10. He had to take a drive through, very tight between the two. And Oleg will go past it. Trouble! Oh no! Krill just ran into the rear of Danny. Oh, trouble there. Come on. It's not what you want. And Danny has been sent into the wall. He's trying to get going. He has gotten going. That looked anything but clean for one of the newcomers here in CMRSC, and that is not what you want to do at all. Not at all. So we already did the math before this one, and it would just have to matter where Layla finishes. But even then, it still wouldn't be possible. We already did the math. But unfortunately, Andy Park will be close to winning the championship, but not quite. But nonetheless, Park is now into the pits. Mackenzie's also going to come in. Haven't talked too much about her. But now she is in, and it leaves Santos to lead off this Japanese Grand Prix. But nonetheless, we continue this one. Conti now into P2. Layla, Andy, Mackenzie, and Nevis also in. And Park is now going to exit pit lane. Where is he going to line up? One may be able to just get ahead. And he will. So the driver from Uruguay now ahead. And Park now is just going to want to get going here. As, ooh, a little bit of slide there and battle here, but looks like Juan is not going to fight it, knowing that that's not my race. There's still a bit of a ways to go. And looking in the paddock pen, a lot of drivers not happy with some of the actions that have gone down in this one. So maybe a lot of conversations to go for, and one doing a two-wheel, and he's now disconnected out the session. So now it's put in Santos and Conti now into the box. And that was a very weird moment there. Great thing that Andy Park was able to get ahead, but a little bit of acrobatics there, some car acrobatics. Now Santos needs to get a hustle on here. The gap was about 2.3. He gets going. Pi will get a drive-through for speeding in the pits. There is your championship leader crossing out with Santos. Now Santos has to get a move on here. Pit limiter off. Game on here on pit exit. Andy Park will be leading it on pit exit, but now Santos with the fresher tires get a move on here, and he has been able to put down the gap a second. So game on here, 1.4. 1.4, the difference as we get racing once again for the top two. And let's see how that's going to shake up this race. We also have another closer battle down here. That's Krill and it's Steinberg. He's now actually come out on track. He's trying to get out the way for this pack of drivers, and he has. So good on him. And P15 trouble, or is it P15? Somebody has also had some issues here. One has disconnected out the session. That's one thing that we know. Emmanuel, he's currently sitting in P4. He had some connection issues as well. But, man, such an interesting race here, especially in the mid-pack. Everybody's so bunched up together. An incident affair out here, and look at this. There's Danny Nasseir, where he should be up where Krill is, but he's down in 14th because of that man there, because of that incident that will be reviewed. But from what I saw, it did not look clean, that's for sure. Here's Mackenzie now against Thiago Hervaz here. Slipstreaming, and she'll pull out to the outside and try to get a rundown here side by side. And one is now entering back into the session here, but he'll be quite a bit of laps down. And Mackenzie, though, will get the move done. So that puts her up to P10. And, a little bit of a slide there. But still carrying on the battle here. And another closer battle we have here. Let's go on board with Oleg. He hunts down. And still chasing down, looking for this move here. This is your battle for 6th position. Andy Park, another fastest lap of the race. But here we go. Now on the slipstream here. Big chance. Nose to tail. And a little bit of a bump draft as well for good measure. And now into T1. We'll send it down, and Oleg will get the move done. So P6. So great showcase there from Oleg. And he continues his bout there. Meanwhile, Nevis also entering into this picture. We'll see how it goes down. On board once again, Layla also pushing on to catch up to Emmanuel. Closing down. A lot of battles to check out here. Let's go to this fight here. Layla trying to get into the top 4 now. Now, is there an opportunity? It's a great run. As they get up the hill, it was a little bit of a wide entry for Emmanuel. Pulling out wide, and actually Emmanuel will take it to the pit, so a very easy move done there from Layla. That is a move complete. So P4, up another one. Emmanuel is one of the last drivers to come in, and no! Pi was actually disqualified. He's disqualified out the session for not taking the drive-thru. Remember, he had a speeding penalty. And his race is officially over for round number 5. Remember, he had a speeding penalty as he was coming in 1 lap. He didn't take it. Has a certain amount of laps to get that done, but that is a nightmare. For getting that kind of penalty, that's going to send him out for this one. So a nightmare moment there. Here comes Krill on Pi, and of course Pi is disqualified, so I don't think he'll be able to run into the pits again. Might have to race to the pits from this point on. He's still driving though. It's until the session boots him out. And he lets him through. I think he knows. He realizes what had gone down with him. And it's not going to be enough. Andy Park, another fastest lap of the race for Andy Park. Another dominant one here. But continuing this one off here. Handful of drivers we have lost from this one. Top 12 do get points, so you know what? One more retirement would mean guaranteed points for all these drivers. Heading into race number 2. There's the second warning, and there it is. So Pi disqualified out the session officially. It was at the line there. So not getting the drive-through taken after speeding in the pits and getting that one. That's a bit of a shame there. Trying to hustle up the order. Was decently up the order, but that's one thing that slipped your mind there. That's a shame. That's a bit of a shame there. But nonetheless, we continue this one. Park is still leading the Grand Prix. Park is a long way to go. Before we call this one as it is. But doing a great job of coming through here. 6 minutes left to go to dominate this first one. And of course, math will be looked at, and the points calculation, what Andy will need in race 2. But so far right now, great performance here. And some yellow flags coming out. It's Evan Steinberg. So Steinberg's been sent off the track. The 11 just going through. There is Andy Park, which firmly leading. Has 2 cars ahead, lap traffic. And you can see how much Andy is pushing on this one. Has to, of course, stay between track limits. That could be a little bit spicy there for Andy Park. 5 minutes left to go. I'm not able to see what all these drivers have in terms of how many cut warnings. But still, looking out for this one. But that is your championship leader, your race leader here out of this one. And we look up to P2, Daniel Santos, 4 seconds behind. A P2 is, I guess, the best he can do. But as we continue this one here, then, well, that'd be great here. But here's Layla doing a great job here of hustling up the order. But a quiet one coming towards the end of this race here. Apologies there. Getting all sorts of stuff here. Some questions here from the Paddock Panda. Pi is actually not understanding why he was disqualified from this one. So, what a hard one. Chet saying, dang, I hope you wouldn't see that spin. I did see, well, the end part of it, you in the grass, but did not see how it happened. So hope it's nothing too crazy. But with Pi out of this session, it leaves 12 at the end of round 5 as Danny goes a little bit wide there. Lap traffic, of course. It's now left the top driver, so the first time in quite a long time, you're gonna have to go back almost a year to the first time that all the drivers finishing are guaranteed points. And it's been quite a while since I've said that one, but Sportsland Sugo, it's taken lives, it's taking souls and digging holes as we come to the end of this one with 2 minutes left to go back in this race. There's only so much that can go down here. 4 positions. Nevis is probably one of the only drivers who could challenge for a position before the end of this one, as he's challenging for the top 5. Little slide on exit. So we'll see how much is enough for Richard Nevis to be able to get to Oleg, to get into the top 5, and how hard is this fight going to be? This is going to be very interesting coming to the end here. Actually, Crawford letting me know in the paddock that it's looking back to Japan for the F1 2000 series. So how fitting. Every time we go to Japan, there's got to be something in the air here. Something's in the water. That's what's making these cars retire out. Or the driver's not able to finish this one. So a handful of months ever since that fateful day, as looking back at it, Cody Lawrence, who took race victory in round 2 of the MX-5 Cup, he swept that one. So we come down to it. Under a minute left to go. We should be on the final lap. If not, Park may have one more extra lap left to go. 30 seconds to the line. Can he get there in time? Layla, trouble! Trouble for Layla! Making a mistake heading into the chicane! And if the championship... If the championship here settled... At this point, that might be the final nail in the coffin. Layla, who was P4, goes down the order. But around the final corner, timer will officially expire for Andy Park, who will round out the order. May have one hand on the championship. After that one, Andy Park will soar to the line. Victory in hand. Another one. He wins it. Round 5 at Sugo goes to him. Daniel Santos will take a P2, finishing about 4 seconds behind P3 to complete the podium. It is Eros Conti. Now Oleg will officially call himself a man fighting and defending, not for P5, but for P4. Nevis tried with all his might, couldn't get it done, but Oleg will have a great finish here. 4th position. Nevis will finish 5th. Grill, with a penalty looming over his head, will finish 6th. Mackenzie Thompson will finish 7th, and an abysmal moment for Layla. A mistake there, dropping 4 positions. Will finish P8. Mohammed, P9. Emmanuel, P10. 11th for Leonardo. And that should be all the drivers done and dusted. Actually, Danny Nasseir was able to shuffle up in P10, so great performance there from him. Andy Park, however, has one hand on the title. That one mistake from Layla may have just costed her the championship. A moment there. But race winner here, we'll talk to him. Don't go anywhere, folks. Race Number 2, round 6 is coming up to declare this one, but Andy Park, a massive, massive performance there, will get the job done. What a race for Andy Park. All right, congratulations, your top 3. We'll get started with interviews right away. We're going to talk to our driver who finishes P1, the top step. And it is going to Andy Park with a brilliant, another dominant performance in the books. Andy, you have one hand on the title. How does that feel? Actually, hold on, Andy. Hold on, Andy. Give me one moment. Give me one moment here. I think the chat needs to hear your voice. We're gonna connect you onto the live chat here, and we're gonna talk about it. But no, there's a lot of emotions I bet you're feeling out of that one. But it was a dominant race for you to get up here now, to finish where you are. Well, you're P1. Yep. You're good now. You're good now. How was that one for you?
I was so under pressure from Daniel in the beginning laps, and I was so frustrated because I could just not hit the target lap times that I set myself in previous sessions. I was always lapping like 3 tenths down, 4 tenths down, and I was losing my mind. So I took the speedrun timer and I just blocked the rear view mirror, and that's when I started actually focusing on the track ahead. But I do have the radar, so it's not like I completely blinded myself. But it was the only way, because I am so bad with pressure, and then it just wouldn't let go. So I just said, okay, I have to hit my target, and then gradually I started getting myself back into that rhythm. But not an easy one. Holy.
Well, I'm sure it should give you confidence to say your championship rival did not have the best of finishes here, so that now officially puts you one hand on the title. Another win should put you on the map here for the championship. How does that feel with that confidence going into this final race here with still 2 races left to go?
I'm shaking. No pressure. It's like if I win again, I've clinched the title. No pressure. But a lot of feelings, but mostly just I'm trying not to get too many feelings, because this is not the best moment to get feelings. I should just keep my head down and do what I do again. But I will have a moment for celebrations. I won, but I am very not satisfied with how I did.
Well, you have one more race. If you do well here, you're champion. So best of luck, because I know you're going to have some pressure coming into this one.
God bless. No other words. Thank you.
Thank you. That's your P1. Let's talk to P2. Daniel Santos, finishing up, runner-up here. Looks like you threw everything at Andy in the opening stages here, but may have just been able to get away. But your pace looked pretty decent out there. You hold on to 2nd position. How would you react to that race?
I don't have nothing to add. I drove, that's it.
It was a great bit of pressure in the opening stages. You were able to get close, but no chance of a move. Do you think maybe there is a chance in the opening laps here? How are you feeling? Do you think there is any chance to go up against Andy?
No.
Well, wise words here. Well, best of luck. Race 2. Yeah, Andy has a lot of pace, but you're the only driver who's keeping close with him. So let's see if there is a battle potentially coming up for this next one. But nonetheless, though, still congratulations and a round of applause for you. P2 is still a P2 in the history books. So that is 2nd place there. And after that one, we head now to the driver who finishes P3. And P3, another great result here. Maybe a bit lonely throughout this part of the race coming towards the end here. But Eros, a podium is still a podium, and a big one as well. You'll take what you can get, I guess. How was that one for you?
Yeah, it was good. I think it's my first podium legally, because
Yeah,
the last
for sure.
one it was like for a penalty, but it was a good start. I have a bad qualification, and with Mackenzie we have really good pace. We have the same pace. I don't know what happened there. I lost him, but I don't know. It was good and lonely because Daniel and Andy just fly. They just flying.
Well, in qualifying, you qualified P3 and you've made up 2 spots to finish 3rd. Now starting 3rd, do you think there's 2 spots to make up to potentially get that win? Do you think there is a chance for you?
It's very difficult. I mean, Andy and Daniel are very good drivers, and I don't know. Let's see what happens.
I think that is the right reaction to go with. Can't wait to see what you could do out there. A great showcase there from that one, getting a podium in the books here, and now it's only up from this point. Congratulations, P3. Good luck on the second race here.
Thank you.
All right, we get gridded up in 20 seconds. Should be another 2 minutes to get ready, and we will go racing. Now this time around, we cannot have any restarts. AC does not appreciate it, so we're just going to be going racing from this point here. So any incidents, we're going to just keep it green no matter what. Same format here, mandatory pit stop. You start in the position you finished from the last race. Best of luck. So here we go. So it's game on for Andy Park. Championship is on the line for him. That is your man who's going to start P1. Santos will start P2. I think he's realized what is at stake here. He's kind of accepted defeat, but I have a feeling he'll try it. He'll try it in the opening stages, but we'll see. Conti will start 3rd. First podium for him in CMRSC. Oleg with a great performance. P4. Nevis, P5. Krill, P6. Mackenzie, P7. Layla, well, unless we see a disconnection from Andy in the next 3 races, it's going to be a tall order. But if Layla could get a dub done somewhere, I think she's just going to be trying to make sure that Alpha Tail secures the team points. Mohammed will start P9, followed by Emmanuel in P10, Leonardo in P11, Dan and Nasseir P12, Pi 13th, Tiago in 14th, 15th, Steinberg will start 16th, and rounding out the grid, Mark Crawford will start in 17th position. So, game on. This is it. There is one chance for these drivers to get this one done here. We have 2 races left to go after this one. We get started here today with the final race of the evening. Andy looking for the first title. Daniel Santos will look for the first win of this one. But overall, it's just going to be a race for the ages. Lights on your screen. Let's get this one going. It's 4 lights. It's round 6. Lights are out and we go racing. Mackenzie will get a drive-through for jumping the start, but they all go through here into turn 1. And Andy Park able to get a fantastic start, already exiting the picture there. Leading it out, Santos P2. Conti will shuffle into 3rd position. A little bit wide as they head into the left-hander. Now it's going to be a very tight section here around this part of the circuit. They're all single files so far. One car's been spun. It's one with Tiago Crawford. Oh, unfortunately collected in that one. But final race here. The final chance that maybe Santos could try to nip a race win as they all go wide. As they head onto the back straight. In the background, Nevis is looking to hunt for a podium. He's fighting against Conti on the slipstream as he send a dive early on the inside. He stays competent behind, not going to go for the move, and he'll just hold on to P4 as it stands. P5, Layla, doing a great job, a great jump. Has Mackenzie behind him. Mackenzie has to take a drive-through penalty for jumping the start, so it's going to send her race backwards for the time being. But Andy Park, this is what he needs for the title. And so far, leading it, even a podium, anything that it takes to get some good points on the board, and he will claim it. Now, here comes Nevis from P4. Goes to the inside. Conti, it's going to be a sitting duck here. Nowhere to go. Teammates as well. They head into turn 1. And Conti is going to respect it. Not going to fight too hard. They want to both try to hustle down to P2. You heard Conti in the interviews. He knows that it's going to be quite tough. Trouble, however, is any drivers going out wide. A couple of them did go off wide. We did get a yellow warning, but they have still stayed green. And, oh, Mackenzie, trouble again, running wide. Letting through some positions. It's gone from bad to worse. Trying to get back going, but something's gone wrong. She's got some sort of signal going. She's just let everyone through. No, she missed the pit box potentially. If she was trying to pit this lap. But she's let everyone out the way. Mackenzie, oh, was there trouble between herself and Juan? I don't know what is going on. Mackenzie's pulled off to the side of the circuit, and that might be a retirement. Started off with letting through everyone early on. And mentioning that Mackenzie had to leave. Wow. But I wouldn't say trying to let through everybody while being on track was the best idea. I would say pull off, go off the track. Because I think there was contact between Mackenzie and Juan, but the debut there, it's been a bit of a nightmare. But not many drivers can say they've had a perfect debut. It's not very easy to have the perfect of debuts at all. You look back at Eros Conti. He debuted at the 2025 DTM World Championship at Watkins Glen. It was not the best of races. But look at him now, scoring his first podium. It's not even been a year in to his sim racing career here in CMRSC, and he's got it done. And now he's fighting to hold on to the podium. Meanwhile, Layla hustling up the order. Oh, she's going to be a fun driver to watch. Into the right-hander. Double right-hander for the both of them. Conti touches the grass, loses the rear end. It's going to put Layla all over the back of Conti. And a great run. So Eros is going to defend the inside and hold on to it for dear life as Layla will try to sweep it around the outside if it is possible. Conti, though, is going to be confident on the brakes, going to hold on. Is the switchback open? Slightly, it is. Conti's going to try to close the door, push Layla out wide. Not going to matter. Layla's going to swoop it down the inside and should be able to get the move. It's still side by side, still door-to-door action. No contact made between each other. They still now climb up the hill close together. P4 and P5. Eros defending, but how long until Layla gets the run? And I have a sneaking suspicion it's right here and right now. Layla pulling up to the outside. Both of them shifting up almost at the same time. Conti a little bit bogged down, just slightly. Wanting to get to fifth gear as soon as possible. Now around the outside, can Layla hold on without going wide? It's a tall order here, but it's not impossible. Layla with the move done around the outside. Brilliant up to fourth. Now does Conti send it down? He does not. He'll let go of it. Layla on a mission to get to the podium. And next up is going to be Richard Nevis. And we also have this fight here. Evan Steinberg. This is your battle for 7th as Krill is just up the road. Downshifting, backing off. Did not want to go for that fight down the inside. Now on corner exit. But now on the back straight. Kind of losing out some time here. Having to be a little bit close for that slipstream to really take effect. And Mohammed is also going to keep hustling up. Closing this door, closing this gap. Meanwhile, Conti all over the rear of Layla. Layla may have made a mistake going into the grass. The gap was about 4/10, but it's disappeared, and Conti has gotten back the move from Layla on the inside, and it is almost sorted here. Can Layla hold on to the outside? It worked once. Can it work again? Conti will throw it in. Oh, Layla's gone wide, so the position's going to go back to Conti in P4. A little slide from Layla for good measure. So, opportunity gone there. Layla's going to have to try again. Little touch on the inside, the back end. A little slippery. And still nose to tail. Is there a potential move in the back straight? Keep an eye on those left side tires. If they touch the grass, they both for both of them. Even the inside line there may have slowed him down. Layla to the outside. Now, back on the move for 4th position. Is it possible? As this goes on, Richard Nevis will be loving the action behind, knowing that they're just slowing each other up as he gets away. Layla around the outside. Can't hold on to the move entirely, but will have the inside this time and should be able to keep it alive. No, in the grass. And now Conti will get back the move on the inside. Brilliant driving between these two. Now Conti will hold on, but will now be the effective sitting duck as they head up to the front straight. And now chasing down here. Is there an opportunity to regain that position? Keep an eye on Oleg. He's catching up very fast here. He's under a second. Now Layla, once again, around the outside, gets a turn in early, takes out Conti! Takes out Conti! And Layla, another incident there. Such close racing. Oleg's gonna send it down the inside. That was a very harsh move there. But I think Oleg just probably didn't appreciate what went down there. Wanted a 3-car battle, but saw what happened with Layla. You can tell me what happened with that one. Do you feel like, whose fault was that? That's very, very interesting there. Contact between each other. It was so close. Layla tried to go for the over-under. It didn't work. And watching the replay, we do have a clearer vision of it. And it does unfortunately look like Layla did take Nevis out, and that's gonna be from bad to worse, almost spinning it out completely. Regan, you promised a surprise trailer, but we still got a race to go. 20 minutes, you gotta hold on here. But yes, as Regan reminds us in chat, a brand new trailer and poster is gonna come out for CMRSC's 33rd official championship. Stay tuned for that. Today, though, for Miss Midnight Bloom, it's been anything but positive here today. 3 incidents. Now, I don't know how many of them in total you could say were her fault. That last incident, though, did not look the best from our POV. But incidents are never reviewed during the race. They're reviewed after the race. So you'll never get a penalty given from the race direction, the race stewards, unless it's a real penalty. So that would include speeding penalties or jump starts of the sort. So Layla, don't know what's going on. Just not the best of races so far. Conti, however, is hustling, trying to get back through. That would be pretty impressive if Conti, after that incident there, could still fight for the podium, potentially. 19 minutes left to go. He already finished there once. We'll find out. P10, there's trouble. Oh, it's Danny Nasseir. Has he pulled off to the side of the road? Oh, there's trouble there. Oh my God, he's absolutely everywhere. All right, Danny Nasseir. There's something going wrong with the internet connection. I'll keep an eye on it, but it was teleporting quite a bit. No, it's still, Danny, it's lagging quite a lot. So, no idea just what went wrong there for Danny Nasseir, but connectivity was all over the place. How it's gone from bad to worse there from Danny Nasseir. It looks like it's better now. Yeah, you were just teleporting all over the place. It looks sorted now. I'll mention later if it does happen again, but you should be good. So, a moment there from Danny Nasseir, but making sure the drivers do know about any sort of connection issues, and that was a moment there from him. Never really see lag whatsoever from Danny Nasseir, so very rare moment, but has lost some positions because of it after fighting hard. Really no idea what went down there. Meanwhile, though, Andy Park, 3.3 up in the lead and driving to a first championship in Caribbean Motor Racing Sim Club. Now, 18 minutes left to go. A DNF will not help the Andy's case. But yes, as Chad was saying, that was a very scary lag moment there. It was going all over the place. I've never really experienced Danny lagging like that before in his time in CMRSC. So, very interesting. Nonetheless, though, racing still firmly continues here. Pit stops are getting underway now. You did see earlier that we got a stop from Kirill, as well as Evan Steinberg, Mohammed, Leonardo, Oleg, and Danny Nasseir. And keep an eye on Oleg. That is a driver to watch. After he's made his pit stop. So he's going to be hustling up very fast. He wants to fight up for the podium. So we'll see if there is a chance. And Conti now comes in. So after that incident, probably going to repair the car a bit and see if there's a chance to battle against Layla. But we'll see how it goes down here. We're almost at the halfway point. Next week out, it's the final race of MX-5 Cup. The first ever MX-5 championship in CMRSC comes to a conclusion. And after that, we head on to the future, the 33rd official championship that will be announced today. So you're going to get an exclusive first look if you keep checking out the stream by the end of this race here. So once we get through interviews, we are going to be talking about the future, and trust me, you're not going to want to miss it. Andy Park is now into the pits. Mandatory tire change for all these drivers. So Andy is going to be in now. Santos, just like last race, is going to stay out and stay long. Layla also entering in from P4. And we shall find out what it's going to look like here. You see on the board as Park now comes out. The current lap time so far. So where does Park come out to? Firmly behind Ravaz. That is the case. Actually, Thiago is chasing down Emmanuel. So both drivers yet to come in, but still doing battle between each other. I know Santos is going to want to use this clear air to put in some solid lap times to see if he can get close to Andy on the pit exit. Last race, it was about 1.4. So we'll find out now. But we watch this fight here as Thiago hunts down slowly but surely, trying to get up to the rear. And Oleg, and there's trouble there. I'm not too sure what happened between those two, but Oleg and Leonardo make contact between each other. And as we talk about that, Nevis Santos in the box. So we'll figure out where our leader blends in with Daniel Santos. If there is a chance that the championship leader has a bit of work to do to sweep here today from pole position to get a back-to-back broom. There goes those two. And Santos a bit more behind on pit exit. So gap is 2 seconds between. And we didn't see it there, but Thiago got the move on Emmanuel. So Thiago leads the race. And, oh, harsh on the curbing. So both of them lead. They have not pitted yet. They don't have to pit right away. They can wait to the very last moment with 5 minutes left to go in the race. And in turn, if Andy Park does catch up to that pack ahead, well, Santos could have a chance if she is held up. If he's held up, because you look at the championship picture, you see where Miss Midnight Bloom, where she is right now, Layla is. No matter where Andy finishes, what's gone down with Layla here today, it's kind of sealed her fate. And I think she's just going to look past it and focus on what she can do with the next one coming up soon. There is still one more weekend to come up, but this man here, Andy Park, he's already got one firm hand on the title. You might as well give him the second hand now onto the front straight, and Emmanuel is going to make it easy. Coming into the pits, Oleg is also retiring out the session. So then, that leaves now Thiago to lead the Grand Prix, with Park coming up fast. Santos is going to be hoping that Thiago can hold up Park for a little bit. But Park knows that Andy's in a championship fight and probably not want to get in the way, but has all right to fight. It is for position, and even though Thiago didn't pit, he still could hold on here. But 1.5, the difference between these two drivers here. And Andy is going to want to hope that he can time it right and send it straight into... have Thiago send it straight into the pits. He is racing hard to try to hold on and get some positions crossed over. 1.2 the difference now. If Thiago doesn't come in, Andy is going to have a bit of traffic to play with. But I have a sneaking suspicion that the undercut is on for Thiago, so he's going to want to come in and box. And he's praying, and his wishes come true. So Thiago comes in. Layla will get a 10-second time penalty for cutting the circuit. It's gone from bad to worse to nightmare for Miss Midnight Bloom. That is something to behold there. Wow. The nightmare continues for Layla. She just wants to get through this race, score whatever points she can for the team. But that is an unfortunate moment there for Layla. It leaves Andy Park, who continues to lead this race with 3.3, the difference in the lead, with 10 minutes left to get to the title. A penalty at this point may put Park down to possibly P4 outside the podium, but it shouldn't matter. After Layla's 10 seconds, that would send her backwards, and Park will still have an abundance of points to hold on and clinch this title. And there is Nevis on one. One still needs to come in for a pit stop. But Richard Nevis is going to hope that one does come in on this lap. Is there a sign? Yes, there is. So Nevis will now shuffle to third. And we're getting word that Oleg had trouble in his pit box and he just called it quits from there. It was a slow stop and something just did not go right. Layla, though, will jump up to P4 because of that one retirement there. And also, you have the fact of the pit stops going through and Leila's pace. But take a look who's behind. 2.4 seconds is Eros Conti. That is very interesting. 2.5. Now, is there a chance that after that incident early on in the race that Conti could have a Superman drive and retake for P4? That would be absolutely huge if he can get it done. P3 is a bit far up the road. You could see it in the foreground. But it's not impossible, right? 8 minutes left to go. It's been such an unpredictable race that Sugo has provided for us. And anything could happen. Meanwhile, take a look at this. Krill looking up the inside of Pi. And he gets the move done against the Canadian. And now nose to tail between those two. Just about exiting the picture. Next up the road is Juan Megan. P7. But 7 minutes left to go. And once again, if things stay the way they are, we have ourselves a new champion in CMRSC. Not too long, Andy Park. Not too long to go. Just have to hold on. Hope that you don't get struck or anything with engine troubles. Crawford will get a 10-second penalty, and there's trouble for him as well. He hits the wall hard. And I think he's going to retire it. He will. He gets a 10-second time penalty, but he's going to call it quits. It doesn't carry over to future events. That's it. Crawford, he's out. It's been a nightmare for X-Play here. All X-Play drivers, unfortunately, not making their appearance for this one. But here we go. One more chance to get it done. Now, speaking of Conti, he did lose out some sort of time. He went up to 3 seconds. Has gone down back to 2.5. But Leila has been keeping his number. Muhammad also retiring. So that's a total of 4 retirements. 3 retirements. 4 total retirements here at Sugo. Next week, the final 2 races of the championship go down at Sydney Motorsport Park in Australia, where we are going to have a day and night race. Coming up after this race, we have some more exciting news. We announced CMRC's 33rd official championship. A lot of drivers keeping a close eye, making their predictions on what it could be. We'll find out. Apologies for that. I think I just had a bit of a screen freeze there. Not too sure what that was all about, but we should be good here. But take a look at this. 1 second now behind is Eros Conti. This could be huge. Conti, who had himself an incident with Leila, was taken out on turn 1. Now, after trial and tribulation, on track here. Now, with a penalty, a 10-second time penalty guaranteed for Leila, it will shuffle Eros up ahead. But it does not make the difference. As a driver, you want to get it done on track. And that is what Eros is going to do. Under 5 minutes to go. And we're going to see what this battle could transpire to be. Here we go. Chat saying there, felt damage. I got damage front bumper, then went wide, fell off the map. So disappointment there. P7, I think that was Muhammad. That is a huge shame for him there. Hopefully we can see you climb back in the final 2 races. Leila getting all out of shape out of turn 2. Through 3, they're identical. Now to turn 4, it's more slides. That car is not holding on whatsoever. Layla, is she feeling the pressure from the Argentinian driver behind who scored his first podium? Game on. Eros knows that this position is his. He's just got to get the move done. Layla's going to fight hard nonetheless. Here we go. 3 minutes, 20 seconds left to go, even with the penalty looming over. I don't think she wants to finish behind the person that she made contact with. So let's see. What can Layla do? We've seen the brilliant performances back at round 1 at Brands Hatch. And it all comes down here. Up the hill slowly. The gap is hovering over a second. With 2 minutes and 44 seconds left to go. Time continues to tick down. We should have potentially about 3 laps-ish left to go. Maybe 2. But gap 1.04, 1.03 through turn 2. Pretty identical. Now to 3. A lot more curb used there from Conti. Turn 4, a little bit deep on the entry, kind of messed up the exit there for Layla. Dropped down a couple milliseconds there. Now 0.93, depends how you get the entry here sorted for the back straight. Both of them solid there. And continuing on here, still undecided. It's your last battle here, your closest one on track. Could we see a photo finish? We have not seen one in quite a while. Can Conti get it done? He's got to put down a lot of pressure on Layla in this final 90 seconds. And I believe we may be on the final lap here for the race leader. So coming to the line here, they won't really know it, but it will be the final lap. Andy Park crossing it with about 2 seconds off of what normally you could get there. We have trouble here as Manuel was off circuit. Danny Nasseir catching up pretty quick. He's under pressure as well. But yes, I believe we are on the final lap here for this one. And Conti has a lot of work to do to climb up here. It's one thing to catch up, another thing to overtake. It's not going to help going wide out of turn 1. 40 seconds left to go. It should for sure be Park's final lap. Layla will desperately try to hold on to at least say I finished ahead. On to P4. I don't think they're going to know at all, but they... At this point here, with 30 seconds left to go, and Andy Park coming around the final few corners to claim his first championship. It's such a close battle to the end, but 1.3, I don't think he's going to get it done. But let's talk about Andy Park for just a quick moment here. What a performance throughout this championship. Getting it done. Every round has been so consistent. There was some up and downs here and there throughout the season, but it didn't matter because consistency and the pace that Park has proved to the haters has really shut them up. Andy Park, MX-5 champion! He wins at Sugo. The broom goes to him. A second one for the closet. Daniel Santos will finish another P2. Rounding out the final corner for Richard Nevis. He will finish up to P number 3 to this final battle here. Layla will finish 4th on track, but a 10-second penalty over later. She'll be finishing behind Conti. That'll be after the race. Conti, though, on track will finish 5th. Evan Steinberg will finish in 6th position, followed by Kirill in P7. In P8, it'll go to Pi in P9. Tiago, P10, rounding out your top 10, it will be Leonardo. P11, Emmanuel, and P12 is the final battle for points. Can one maybe get one little snag a point here? We'll find out to the very end. A little slide on corner exit there. Danny Nasseir, a little bit of a wide entry. It may kill some momentum as he heads up the road here. but gaining up the line here, is it enough? One, I'll tell you what, he is getting very close here, but I don't think it's going to be close enough. Danny Nasseir will just be able to hold on to that one there and get some points on the board for him. P number 12. Andy Park, however, it's celebration because he can now finally call himself a champion in CMRSC. MX-5 Cup goes to him with 2 races to spare. Well, couldn't have said it better myself. Champions here with 1 round to spare. That's the headline for you. What a race. Don't know if we're going to get any sort of donuts here, but there's your champion in first one here. You'll get the trailer right after all interviews. Well, what a celebration here. All right, another great one down the books there. We talked to a driver who's not just a race winner. He is now a champion. Andy Park, champion of the world. You win an MX-5 Cup and you got 1 round left to spare. Well, that's gotta feel simply lovely. But how do you feel?
Well, I guess, I don't know, man. I have so many people to talk about and so little time to spend.
Take your time. Take your time. Tell me the emotions. How do you feel?
Where do I even begin? I always, this is not just winning championship for me, as you may have said. No, wait, that's not just a race winner, but like, since I began racing, I always had like imposter syndrome because I always used to drive on a controller, and I went through various shit with it, all like controversy. Sorry for the swear word. But it means so much to be able to prove myself on a proper on a wheel. You know, this time, no excuses, all legal, beating all the guys that I did, all the practice. Yeah.
Well, take us through that race, though. It was another dominant one here, but how were the emotions throughout that one? Were you feeling any sort of pressure from championships? Were you feeling it from the pack behind? I mean, just take us through. How did you feel from that one?
In all honesty, I felt nothing. I think I was so focused that my brain just numbed itself, and I just looked forward, and well, things worked out the way they had to work out in the end. It was meant to be.
Well, now that you've finally done it, you've reached the top of the mountain, and drivers going to be saying, you know, how do I get that fast? Because Andy, your pace was scary throughout this one. A very dominant performance almost every single round. Yeah, there were some races where it just didn't go your way, but it didn't matter because back-to-back sweeps, pole, and 2 race wins back from Canada, and now here in Japan. You really put yourself on the map.
Si, ragazzi! Thank you so much, Adi. Thank you so much, Mackenzie. Thank you so much, Layla. Thank you so much, Amir. To everyone that's been through it with me. With all the days that I've not felt like doing anything, all the times that I got motivation, all the support. This one's for you guys. Thank you.
Now, Journey is far from over from you. You got the first one done, but I got a feeling there may be some more to come here. Are you going to try to go for the back-to-back coming up?
You bet I will. I am so excited for this new trailer, so all of you guys on the stream, stay in it, because we are all as hyped as you are for the new season. It's going to be awesome, I already know.
Well, there's not much I can say here other than congratulations. I hear the joy in your voice. Go celebrate it, enjoy it, soak it in. This is a day to feel great. And next week, there's no pressure. You can go in and race for fun and just enjoy yourself, knowing that nobody can stop you at this point for the championship hunt because you are on top.
It's a good breath of fresh air, but I'm still gonna be attending. I still wanna.
Well, yeah, we'd love to see you.
Yeah. And I'd love to be back. Well, this is just a lovely place, amazing people. I always have such a blast racing in here. I thank you to everyone in the chat that has been congratulating me. It means so much to me.
Go celebrate it with them. I'll leave you now to it. Go celebrate. Congratulations. Great result here. And champion. That's your race winner and champion, but it's not to discredit anybody else from the podium. We talked to the driver who finishes P2, Daniel Santos. Let's see if we can catch him up here for a couple of words. Daniel, well, championship hunt gone now. Kind of just from this point on, racing for fun here and seeing what you could do from the last couple of rounds. But another P2. I think I have a feeling how you feel from that race. But hey, nonetheless, how do you feel from that one?
I just raced because I wanted to. And that's it.
Hey, I love it though. But you were the sole man to put some points on your team. Do you think there's going to be some talks with yourself and Mike going into the final one to see if you can gain enough points? No. You don't think it's possible? Actually, I'm not even sure. I didn't even look at the math either.
No. Well, it's impossible.
Well, nonetheless, though, it's still awesome to see you on track. Nonetheless, even if it is racing for fun, and I know me and you had a little bit of back and forth yesterday about what the next series could be about. So all attention, all eyes going to that one, I assume. Well, nonetheless, though, still a P2 here today, and I'll still give you your flowers. Well deserved once again, outscoring everyone. P2 for you. Congratulations.
Yeah.
So that is your man who finishes second position. And we go to P3. Teammates swapping. First it was Eros, and now it's Richard Nevis, who will finish on the podium here for this one. Nevis, do we have a line on you?
Yeah, no, I'm really happy that we both got a podium today, and I want to say congrats to Andy. He's in another level. It's impossible to get in his time, but I'm happy we with Eros managed to get some good points for the championship, for the team's championship. Since we cannot get the P1, we go for the P2. So I think the battle is between us and Daniel and Mike, I think. So I'm happy, I'm really happy for the first podium.
Yeah, that's one thing to note. First podium, the whole team, that's got to be a lot of smiles there for both of you to get your first podiums here. So great showcase there. But yeah, great performance out there, and hopefully we could see you in the last one fighting hard for the team championship. Best of luck to you for it.
I hope. And 1, 2, 3 maybe in the next race would be really great.
I can't wait to see what the team can do. Congratulations, though. You get your first podium, P3.
Thank you so much.
All right. Well, we still have one more race left to go over at Sydney Motorsport Park. We hope we can still see you guys join up for it and have a little bit of fun. And then April 4th, that's the date where we get started with the next one. But I think the wait is now long over. We can now showcase what is next for CMRSC's 33rd official championship. I'm going to send the link quickly one more time in general chat to tune in for the official trailer. So get ready for it. And thank you so much to everyone that's tuned in today for today's showcase of racing here. A very fun one. Lots of great battles here. But here we go. One more race left to go, and we get into the next one. But the question is, well, what is the next championship? Well, you will not have to wait long. In fact, you're going to find out right about now. Thank you so much for tuning in here. Next week, it's Sydney Motorsport Park. Same time, same place here at CMRSC. We hope to see you then. And then, after that, we get into a championship that a lot of people have been wanting again.
Took you so long, where only fools go. I shook the angel and young. Now I'm rising from the crowd, rising up to you. Filled with all the strength I find, there's nothing I can't do.